Hey there everybody, I have a Blood Angels vs Imperial Guard 1500 battle report for you today, so let's look at the army. This is my army, Blood Angels. I have a Reclusiarch in Terminator armor, a Librarian on bike with the psychic powers of Blood Lance and Fear the Darkness, 5 Terminators with Thunderhammer and Storm Shields. I have 3 Sanguinary Priests, 1 in Terminator armor, 1 on a bike with a Power Sword, 1 with a Jump Pack and a Power Fist. I have 2 Assault Squads equipped the same way, 1 with a Flamer, and the Sergeants have Lightning Claws, well, 1 Lightning Claw and an Infernus Pistol. I also have a Scout Squad with Locator Beacon and Sniper Rifles, there's 5 of them, and 4 bikes, and the Sergeant has a Power Fist. The Imperial Guard Army, they have Colonel Ironhand Strachan with a Command Squad that has 3 Melt Guns. There's also a Lord Commissar with the unit, and they're all inside a Chimera with a Heavy Bolter. There's a platoon command squad with 3 Meltas in it as well. Then there's 6 infantry squads. Each of them has a plasma gun, and they either have a heavy bolter or autocannon. Then he brought 3 tanks with him, 2 Leman Russes with battle cannons and a las cannon, and a Leman Russ with an executioner cannon. No sponsons on any of them, and the Leman Russ with the executioner cannon also has a las cannon on it. So the game we rolled up was Purge the Alien. There was no night fighting. The Warlord traits really did nothing. Maybe we should just re-rolled them so that we could have said they had something, but we didn't, so the Warlord traits really don't matter for anything. I actually won the roll to go first, but I wanted to see how my opponent would deploy so that I could kind of hug cover and get some cover saves, which we'll see how that works out for me. So this is a bit of a blurry picture of the deployment zone. So my opponent is on the right here and I'm on the left. This isn't actually how I deployed because I was just taking my models out of the box at this point. So this is his deployment. So we have this is his platoon command squad. You see the tank there, the heavy bolters, autocannons. This is the far left side of his deployment, so my extreme right. And then this is the middle. You see the Chimera has all of his command stuff in it. The yellow tank is the executioner tank with the plasma cannon. And then this is my deployment zone. And so I decided just to get as far down into my left-hand deployment, so my opponent's right hand, as I could to get the cover from this building and get most of my army out of line of sight of his tanks. This is just the back of it, so I have an assault squad hiding in this building and my bikers over here. And then I used all my scout movements and everything to get my scouts right up here. So this is his turn 1 movement phase, so he's just reforming his battle line to try and get as many shots on my guys as possible. I didn't get any pictures of what he actually shot because this is pretty much it. So after he's done shooting, this is what I lose. So I lose 7 assault marines. Those were the ones that were wide open out there. I passed my leadership test, and so that was a pretty rough turn getting shot at. So my movement, I move my scouts up here just to get that really nice cover save. If I need to, I can go to ground, and they'll be pretty hard to take out of that building without a direct assault. So I turbo boost my bikes up as far as they can go. I scoop my full strength assault squad over here, getting a little bit of cover but not too much. They're still within 6 inches of the Sanguinary Priest on the bike, so they'll be getting some feel no pain from shots that aren't coming from tanks at least. And so here again he's just reforming his battle line like that. His tanks have perfect range. He's moving his infantry through this terrain here, and then he just keeps opening fire, and I keep taking losses, but not too many losses. I only lose 3 Marines this time, so that's not too bad at all. So my turn 2 movement, my weakened assault squad moves up here on the bottom middle of this picture, It's hard to tell because once again it's a blurry picture, and one guy's turned around, so that's a smart idea. So my idea here is I want to try and get a long charge on this infantry squad, and hope that they just don't kill it outright and run it down. Since they're already so weakened, I need to keep them in combat and hopefully not kill everything. You can see that my Terminators came in. It's kind of the big blocky blur next to the bikes. My bikes I plan on multi-assaulting into the command squad and a regular infantry squad, because I know that they have enough combat power to see that through. And that's exactly what happens. So this is after they finished the combat and reformed. That, yeah, they just wiped it out, no problem. Didn't even take a wound on anybody. I formed them up like this because they're still within coherency of everybody, but I wanted to stagger it out between my character models and the regular ones to kind of abuse the lookout sir rule, so that I could keep my characters alive for as long as possible while just losing the guys that, you know, aren't all that important. And so this is his turn 3 movement phase. He's now backing up because I think he underestimated the movement of my army a little bit, you know, just how fast it is. And so now he's just backing up. He's sacrificing these 2 squads just because he knows they're dead. If anything, I think he should have moved them up a little bit so that I'm not getting as much distance from whenever I charge him, or he should have just assaulted me to keep me as far back as possible. Oh, I also failed that charge with the little assault squad, so they're gonna probably die next turn. Oh, and the bikes also got me first blood for killing the command squad and that infantry squad. So after shooting, yeah, that little squad that was there, they're now dead, so he just got 2 points from killing an assault squad and the sanguinary priest, so there's 2 points there. You can see he wiped out half my bikes, but all my characters are alive, and my librarian took a wound. But still, that all worked out for me, how I had it all planned. So turn 3 losses. My losses are actually starting to stack up now. I've lost the entire assault squad, I've lost a couple scouts, and now my other assault squad's starting to take some losses, and the models are also starting to fall apart. Okay, so well, I guess I was just getting really excited during my assault phase because these pictures are all getting kind of blurry. So anyways, over here on the right, I move my my bikes over here like this to hope that my librarian, the guy in the golden armor, can get a blood lance through the chimera, and if it gets long enough, I can also hit one of the plasma tank, which would be really nice. My last surviving assault squad is sitting here ready to wipe them out, and my Terminators are of course getting ready to wipe this squad out. So in my shooting phase, I do crack the chimera, but I don't even get close to touching the tank. So it looks like this, and I can assault these guys. I actually was sitting here for quite a while figuring out how I wanted to do this, because I didn't know if I wanted to challenge the Lord Commissar or get in a challenge with Strachan. Either way, he decides who accepts the challenge. So the real question was, I didn't know who I wanted to challenge with, my sanguinary priest or the librarian. I was fairly certain that he would accept with Strachan because the guy just ignores armor saves and he's just a beast. So I figured he would accept with him. So I wanted my feel no pain for future rounds of combat, so I decided to challenge with my librarian, who Strachan then accepted the challenge. Now I got really lucky and got 2 Hammer of Wrath attacks that wounded. So one actually got put on Strachan, and one actually got put on the Lord Commissar. So that was really nice. So Hammer of Wrath is absolutely awesome when done properly. My librarian did win the challenge, so that was awesome. So Strachan just died, so that was really good luck for me. And even better luck was that I didn't lose any models. Nobody took a wound, and the Imperial Guard passed their leadership test for a round of combat. So I'm hoping that my bikes will be able to live through another shooting phase because they can't get shot at in combat, and then we'll be able to finish off the rest of the guys on his turn during the assault phase, so that I can assault in my next assault phase with them and just keep the momentum going. Yeah, my assault squad just ripped through them, and the Terminators, of course, like the regular Terminators, didn't even have to swing. The Reclusiarch and the Sanguinary Priest just obliterated that unit like nothing. But now this assault squad's going to get fired at by everything, because my opponent, he really didn't feel like he could touch my Terminators, so he pretty much just ignored them all game until it came time for close combat. So this is where the pictures start to get not so clear as to what's going on, so I'll have to talk a bit more. He's still moving back with everything, but he's in that rapid fire distance to where he's comfortable with where his infantry is. So all he really wants to keep scooting back is his tanks. But this tank here is kind of hemmed in by this infantry. You can't see it, but there's infantry pretty much wrapped around that tank as a little bit of protection, but as you're going to see, it doesn't really do much for it, because I multi-assaulted into the infantry and the tank with the Terminators, and they just wiped it out. My bikes, as you can see, didn't win combat from the last Imperial Guard turn, but I did win it in my turn. So now they're just kind of in this cover, hoping to get a little bit of a cover area terrain save from the terrain, and line of sight and whatnot. Just really trying to keep that unit alive, since it's worth a lot of points. But that doesn't happen. They get wiped out. There's just nothing that I could have done to save them at that point. They were toast. But I still have all my Terminators, and we'll see if that can get me through the game, because he still has the plasma cannon tank and that big battle cannon tank over there and that little bit of infantry. So I move up, getting ready to assault it, and he has this little choke point here, but I can still, if I can get a high enough charge, I can still multi-assault both squads. And the reason I can just multi-assault with Terminators so easily is because Guard are just so squishy. I mean, weapon skill 3, toughness 3, I'm just going to obliterate them, and they're going to run because all the commissars and platoon leaders are dead, so they have no good leadership anywhere. So that's exactly what happens. I get the multi-assault. If you're looking at the picture and saying that this charge isn't legal, you would be correct, because these two Terminators on the left and this one on the right is out of coherency. But honestly, if I did everything correctly, I still could have completed the multi-assault. Still would have had maybe 2 Terminators out of no, I still would have had all my Terminators in the combat, because they would have been within 2 inches of a model in combat. So really, I would have had this. It would have had the same result, which is this. So pretty much wipe out everything but the heavy weapon bases, and they're just going to run off the table because they're not going to rally. So I consolidate. So I do consolidate back in coherency, and then it goes to my turn. Who then, it was really pretty much over at that point. I got another charge off on his plasma tank and killed it. And so these are really all that's left. So this is the survivors. I had 5 or 6 Terminators survive. Yeah, 5. I had 3 regular ones. My sergeant did die. I had my Sanguinary Priest and Terminator armor survive, the guy with the white shoulder pads, and my Reclusiarch lived as well. My snipers actually survived, so that was kind of nice. I would hope they did, because they didn't get shot at pretty much all game. And his tank survived as well. So at the end of the game, it was a 14-4 Blood Angels victory. I got all those kill points from the mass of infantry that he had. I got Line Breaker for having a unit that can contest an objective in his deployment zone. I had First Blood. I also got Slay the Warlord. My Warlord was the Reclusiarch, and he did lose a wound, but still no danger of being killed like that. So, final thoughts on the game. This is the first time I actually got to bring out my 1500 point list like this. I've been wanting to try out my Bikers with Assault Marines along with Terminators for a really long time. So it was great to be able to get all of those units together and see the synergy there. The snipers, they did a decent job shooting, but really nothing super. But they brought my Terminators in safely with the locator beacon, which is exactly what I was looking for. I just need something so that my Terminators don't scatter and fall off the board and die. So the snipers did exactly that. They're only 100 points, and if this was an objective-based game, they could have possibly captured an objective in my opponent's deployment zone. Bikes, wow, they were amazing. Super fast with those turbo boosting. So they're moving 24 inches a turn if I need them to. They have that incredible Jinx save, which only gets better in cover. And people say that they're a harassing unit. With the Twin Link Bolters, they're not that great in combat. But at toughness 5 and with Hammer of Wrath, and you just put a couple characters in there, and yeah, they can do work in close combat. Gameplay, it really could have been better. I really should have gone first, just so that I could get up there closer, and then relied on speed and area terrain along with Feel No Pain to get me where I needed to go and not worry about losses. Why I did end up giving my opponent the first turn was because I was afraid of him castling up in one corner, the opposite corner of which I deploy, and I could have just deployed in the middle, but there wasn't really all that much terrain there, and I really liked the left side, which had that big building in it, so I could have done some things different, and I just do think I should have gone first and done it the Blood Angel way and just go for the assault as fast as possible. Something I do forget about rather often is my precision shots with my characters, but this time I remembered them, and it really does make a difference. I killed a lot of special weapon guys with it. I killed some sergeants out there, and yeah, it's just really important to remember that. Oh, one thing I didn't touch on in the battle report was I had one guy left in that in the second assault squad, and he actually killed a command squad, a platoon command squad, by himself. Those grenade throws, remember your grenade throws, everybody, because he killed like 2 guys with that, and then whenever he charged, he got Hammer of Wrath wound, which killed a guy, and then he killed another guy in close combat before he got cut down by the platoon commander who had a power axe. But then, because they were under 25% and everything, they failed their leadership test and ran off the board. So one guy just, wow, yeah, he did work for me on that. So that's the end of the battle report. It was a really good game. It was a game I played with a friend who I've known for a long time, and even though it was kind of a beating, he was really good about it, and it was just a really fun game. So thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think, and have a great day.